Blaze Powersports and Outdoors, not 9727 Cameron Street, Tucson, Louisiana. Phone number is 337-873-5511. I'm about to do a pre-delivery inspection on a QG-210 70cc Coolster Dirtbike. It's a 4-stroke model. Drum brakes so they don't lock up. Training wheels are available. What we do, we check to make sure the handlebars are tight. We pick up the forks up and down, make sure everything's stable. We check all the nuts, axle nuts, brake lines, and the throttle cable. This is the front brake here. This is your throttle. This is your kickstart here. We check the back. Check everything to make sure it's good and tight. And then I proceed to explain to the customer everything. This is your gear shifter. All the way up is in neutral, and then it kicks down 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way down. Simple operation. Here's your kill switch here. This is in the kill mode. This is in the kill mode. This is in the run mode. After you kickstart it and want to kill the engine, you have to hit the kill switch like so. Then to crank it back up, push this kill switch back down and kickstart it. Real simple operation. Okay, let's just go over the carburetor. The carburetor has a gold lever on it. That's the choke. Down is off, up is on. This is your petcock here for the fuel tank. This is in the on position. If it's in the off position, right here, turn sideways, that's in the off position. Okay, this tube down here running below the engine, that's your carburetor overflow tube. That comes off the bowl of the carburetor. It will leak gas when the float is sticking. You need to have your carburetor clean, or when you're trying to drain the carburetor. When you're trying to drain the carburetor, what you're going to do is, if you're going to store it for over 10 days or so, you want to turn off the petcock up under the engine. Then you want to come around to this side with a flathead screwdriver, and there's a small little gold screw on the bottom of the carburetor down here where my finger's at. You want to turn that and let all the gas out of the carburetor bowl. If you don't do that, if you think you can run the bike and let it run empty, well, that's not quite true, because gas is still sitting in the bowl of the carburetor and half of the jet is still just residing in the gas, and it's going to clog up with the ethanol. It's really bad on little bikes, all ATVs, outdoor power equipment like lawn care and boat motors. Ethanol is the #1 problem we have with people bringing stuff in to get serviced, new ones and old ones alike. You start seeing a difference after 10 days with the ethanol. It really gels up. Okay, now this little unit, the dipstick is here. They say you can use 1030 oil. We prefer 1540 because of the atmosphere down here and the heat. 1540 has done us justice. And this model is going to take approximately a half a quart, but always check your dipstick, and the manual will show you exactly where on the dipstick. The drain plug is down here. It's a 17mm, so you already know what you gotta get before you even get the tool out the toolbox. 17mm socket and a ratchet to change the oil. Okay. To adjust the chain, you're going to loosen up your axle nut here, and this is the axle head here. You'll have to have a wrench on both sides. You'll loosen that up, then you'll back off this first nut here on the chain adjuster. Likewise on this side. Take those two off, one on each side. Then the one that's up next to the adjuster, that's the one you're going to tighten. And you're going to do it in half turn segments with a socket and a ratchet. You're going to need a deep well socket to go over this whole thing, like so. And you'll tighten up a half a turn each one. Instead of doing all on one side, you'll go a half a turn this side, half a turn this side, and keep going until you get 1-inch plate. Make sure you adjust it with someone sitting on it, because the weight factor, when the weight is applied to it, the chain does tighten up. Okay, after you get it adjusted where it needs to be, a 1-inch plate at the midpoint right here where my hand's at. Then you want to reverse your process. Tighten up the axle and put the nuts back on the chain adjusters, okay? You want to lube the chain with chain lube or some kind of good WD-40. Chain lube is a little bit better because it's kind of sticky, okay? You want to check your brakes to make sure they're adjusted. Sometimes you have to tighten up these and adjust them. Very simple to do. You press in here and just tighten this up. After about 6 to 8 hours, you want to check all your nuts, bolts, screws, and everything. Make sure they're tight because of the braking period. That's a normal transition. You want to check your head bolts and your exhaust bolts down here, but only do it on a cold engine. And I repeat, never on a warm or hot engine should you tighten up nuts or bolts or anything. Now these are the head bolts. They need to be snugged after about 6 hours of riding, okay? Don't overstrip them, just snug them. And it should be a number 10. Let's see what else I need to tell you. This is your foot brake here for the back. This is your hand brake here for the front. Spark plug, make sure it's always on there. Very simple to, the oil change schedule. After the first half hour, then the next 6 to 8 hours, then 15 hours, and then 25 hours thereafter, you should change the oil. In the gas, just straight gas. Don't mix the oil and gas. It's a 4-stroke. Try to get ethanol free or the highest octane you possibly can. Holds approximately a gallon. This is a little nipple for the gas tank. It keeps too much pressure from building up in the tank. It also alleviates some humidity in the tank, and it also serves to keep from water or trash from getting inside the tank. If you lose this, you can get a replacement, or you can take just a regular fuel line, stick here, make it long to where it kind of hangs down somewhere, but keep it on the tank. Real simple, fun little bike to operate. We have a heavier duty model called a Wolf Moto. Shocks are a little bit thicker on it for like more hardcore pit riding. On the front brake, if you ever have to tighten that up, it's down here. You can adjust it. Just check all these nuts and all after about 6 to 8 hours. Have any questions from our customers, you can email me or call me. I'll help try to walk you through everything. And the air filter is usually maintenance free. If it gets real dirty, you may have to take it off and use an air pressure hose and blow it out. You can rinse it off and just make sure it's dry before you put it back on the carburetor. And there's a little fuel filter here. It needs to be changed from time to time. Right up under here. Well, I got my finger. Real simple little bike to maintain. That's a good thing. It's not a lot of electrical stuff to go wrong with it. There's no battery. That's what makes it great. And you get the advantage of a 4-stroke without all the electrical hassles of some other units. Real simple to maintain. Fun little bike. I hope to see you here. Blaze Powersports, Tucson, Louisiana. That concludes the PDI inspection for a QG-210 70cc Coolster Dirtbike. Have a good night.